This is Theo. And right now, Theo isn't watching anything bad. He's watching a nice video, encouraging even. So is the next one, and the next one after that, and the next one, and so on. And in 3 hours, Theo will still be watching those videos. He just can't remember the last 10 of them. Here's the thing about Theo's scrolling. None of it is bad. A worship song, a guy explaining a Bible verse, a recipe for lily pad soup. Nothing sinful about any single video. So, if the content is fine, is the scrolling fine? Theo wants to think so. It's good stuff, he tells himself. I'm practically doing Bible study. Kinda. But Theo does notice something about himself. He feels jumpy, a little annoyed, like part of him is already somewhere else, already reaching for the next thing, even before he's picked the phone back up. Here is what Theo is starting to feel. Every time Theo scrolls to the next video, even the nice ones, his brain gets a tiny little reward. A little hit of, ooh, something new. Over and over and over again, hundreds of times. And the thing is, about that reward, the brain doesn't care if it's a video about Jesus or jazzercise. The brain doesn't grade content. It just learns one thing. Scrolling feels good. So scroll more. And the more that happens, the more Theo's brain starts to expect that little hit. Constantly. Which means the things that used to feel satisfying, like sitting quietly, or praying, or just being still, start to feel unbearably slow, boring, itchy to Theo. And the thing is, Theo isn't choosing to be restless. His brain has been quietly trained to need the next thing. And the research backs this up. Heavy scrolling is linked to real, measurable changes in the brain's attention and impulse control systems. In children especially, this can show up as actual learning difficulties. This isn't a metaphor. This is wiring. So, if it's not about what Theo is watching, what's the actual issue? Let's start with time. The Bible talks a lot about time. Not as something we own, but as something we are given to steward, like a loan. A preacher named John Wesley, way back in the day, leaned hard into this idea of redeeming the time, not wasting it. Not because fun is bad, but because every hour spent in one place is an hour not spent somewhere else. Theo didn't watch anything wrong last night, but he also didn't water his plant. He didn't pray. He definitely didn't sleep enough to feel human today. 3 hours went somewhere, and somewhere is a feed that doesn't even remember giving it to him. Here's another angle. A reformer named John Calvin had this idea that's almost uncomfortable if you sit with it, that Theo's life, his time, his attention, his whole self, isn't really Theo's own. It belongs to God, which means that even Theo's downtime, in some way, should point back to God. Now, that doesn't mean that Theo can never relax, never watch a video, never have fun. But Calvin would ask, does this 3 hours of scrolling, even nice scrolling, fit into a life that's ordered towards God? Or has it quietly become its own master? Something Theo's day now revolves around, whether he meant it to or not. Theo didn't decide, now I will serve my phone for the next 3 hours. But that's sort of what happened anyway. There's another old preacher, John Chrysostom, who talked about something Jesus said, not to be consumed by anxious thought. And John was clear, Jesus was not saying that work or responsibility is bad. He was talking about the kind of restless, grasping mindset, a heart that can't settle. That word, restless, might be the best word for what scrolling does, even good scrolling. Theo's mind right now isn't at rest. It's hovering, anticipating, a little anxious, even though nothing is actually wrong. John would probably say, it's not that Theo looked at his phone, it's the state that Theo's heart is in while he's doing it. Restless, hungry, never quite settled. It's not really a rest activity at all, even though it might feel like one. Then we have St. Augustine talking about something called the lust of the eyes. Now, when people hear that, they usually think it's about, well, certain kinds of looking. But Augustine meant something broader, a restless craving to just keep seeing things, taking things in over and over with no point being enough. And here's the uncomfortable part. Augustine's whole point was that the hunger isn't really about the thing being looked at. It's about the restlessness in one's soul that's looking for something to fill it. And the world has an endless supply of somethings. Augustine believed that restlessness only actually settles in one place. Everything else, even good, wholesome Christian content, is just another thing for restless eyes to land on for a second before moving on. Now, last one, Thomas Aquinas. He drew a line between two things that look identical from the outside: wanting to learn truth, which is good, and curiosity, which is wanting input for its own sake, disconnected from any purpose. Now, if you're looking something up because you need it, good. But scrolling because your thumb is already moving before your brain decides to, that's the version that Aquinas was worried about. Not because the information is bad, but because the appetite driving it has slipped its leash. And that's really the whole question, isn't it? Not, is this video okay? But rather, why am I still doing this? And did I actually choose to? So, is doom scrolling a sin? Even the nice kind, with worship songs and recipes and good advice. Not because of what's on the screen. Theo could watch 100 good videos and still walk away worse off. More restless, more irritable, more disconnected from God, from responsibilities, from just being a frog, sitting on a pond, at peace with himself and everything around him. The danger isn't the content. It's the shape that scrolling carves into Theo's mind and heart over time. A mind that's always reaching. A heart that's never settled. Hours that quietly disappear into a feed that gives nothing back. Now, Theo's not going to get rid of his phone, but he is going to ask himself something that he hasn't asked in a while. Did I choose this, or did this choose me? And for the first time, all day, Theo wasn't reaching for anything at all.